Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, we've got a lot of information to talk about in this video today, revolving around the remaining unreleased cars in Cunning Stunts, as well as some new information about some of the ones that were released the other day, and how they could potentially be improved in Grand Theft Auto Online. Okay, so the first thing I want to start with before we jump into really anything else is something I forgot to cover in my video the other day. I cannot believe I missed this, and it's the price of the unreleased Sprunk Buffalo S. So we know the Sprunk Buffalo S is coming into Grand Theft Auto Online. It's been teased in one of the preview screenshots of an upcoming Grand Theft Auto Online race game mode. It's really hard to see, but you can definitely tell that it's the Sprunk Buffalo S. We know for 100% certainty that it's going to be coming into the game. However, I never mentioned the price. And for non-returning users, the Sprunk Buffalo S is going to cost $535,000. Wow, that's pretty pricey for one of the stock cars. So if we compare that to the other stock cars that have been released in the game, the Stallion $277,000, Dominator $315,000, and Gauntlet $230,000. So at a minimum, it's $200,000 more expensive than the other previous one, the Dominator, and on average, it's close to $300,000, $250,000 more expensive than the other stock cars. So I'm not sure if Rockstar's putting a premium on the Sprunk Buffalo S because they think it's the coolest. I mean, it's my personal favorite, but you guys might have different opinions. Or if they're putting a premium on it because it's one of the unlocked vehicles that wasn't originally released with the Cunning Stunts update. That I can't really tell you. I have no clue why it's going to be so expensive, but nonetheless, that is going to be the price whenever the Buffalo S is going to be coming into the game. There's also been some more information found by a user on the GTA forums, MGGames100, about some of the new cars coming up and also what type of drivetrain they have. So this is for all the vehicles. You can see the Vapid Contender, which is the pickup truck that is yet to be released. It is an all-wheel drive vehicle. The Western Cliffhanger motorcycle that was just released is a rear-wheel drive motorcycle. The Declasse Drift Tampa sports car is also an all-wheel drive car. The Lynx is a rear-wheel drive. The MTL Dune is an all-wheel drive, and the Sprunk Buffalo S that's going to be coming soon into the game is a rear-wheel drive as well. So for those of you car enthusiasts, you might be interested in that information because I know that certainly has some impact on the way these vehicles perform. Moving on to some more information though, for any new sounds that come with the vehicles, the Vapid Contender does not have any new sounds. It gets the generic SUV sounds. The Western Cliffhanger motorcycle, it has new sounds. The Drift Tampa also has new sounds, as well as the Ocelot Lynx. However, the MTL Dune shares the exact same sounds as the Brickade, but with a fixed backing up signal. So that's pretty cool that 3 out of the 6, if you include the Sprunk Buffalo S, have new sounds, which is always really cool. I always find it neat when I get into a vehicle for the first time and I'm like, wow, this car sounds amazing. And the Drift Tampa is certainly up there as one of the best sounding and best looking cars in the game as well. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the Drift Tampa itself. There's a few things about it. Number one, I'm kind of disappointed that this vehicle was not a Benny's car because it seems like it's perfect for Benny's shop and the sort of customization we can get. So as I was talking about earlier, a user on the GTA forums, MGGames100, he kind of put together a diagram of how some customization options would work if the new Drift Tampa could have been applied in Benny's shop. And I thought it was really cool, so I'm going to show it to you guys on the screen right now. So you can see he's got some options to remove the carbon scoop on top of the vehicle. Also an option to remove the sun strip, which would be a nice feature. Now, they could also make options for a slick hood, a bug catcher, very similar to the ones found on the Duke of Death. And you could even create carbon versions for all of them, which would be super unique. There should also be options to remove the tape from the headlights, which of course is default and something you cannot do. So I thought that those were pretty cool options as far as the exterior for what you could do to the car. There's also many different options on the interior. There's obviously one that could be used for removing the racing net, an option to change racing seats. All of them would be coming from the Banshee 900R and Sultan RS. Also an option to change the steering wheel, which once again would be coming from the Sultan RS and the Banshee 900R. You could remove the roll cage, you could add gauges, and you could also have an option to choose between a racing or normal interior, once again, similar to the lowriders, the Sultan RS, and the Banshee 900R. So it seems as if the Declasse Drift Tampa was like built in Benny's shop. We just don't have the option to take it there and do some of the crazy cool Benny's customization. Now, I'm fine with some of the other vehicles in this update not having the Benny's customization, especially the Lynx, the Contender, the Cliffhanger. There's obviously not a need to bring those vehicles into Benny's shop, but the Class A Drift Tampa would have been a perfect vehicle to have added into Benny's with all the customization we could have done. So it is kind of a shame to see that that option was ignored by Rockstar. And then the second gripe a lot of people have, obviously, with the Drift Tampa is the fact that it's in the sports car class, which, because it's in the sports car class, makes it a pretty useless racing vehicle. Now, the car itself, performance-wise, is not bad. It's just in the wrong class. If it was in the muscle cars, it would be one of the best competing muscle cars in the game. And it turns out that Rockstar may have accidentally made a mistake in putting it in the sports car class. So this is coming from a user Metals on the GTA forum site. He believes that the Drift Tampa was supposed to be in the muscle car class. So this is him quoting from the Italian Newswire. He hasn't checked any of the other ones, but this is the quote from the Italian Newswire. So it states, Ocelot Lynx, the Class A Drift Tampa, Western Cliffhanger, and then, you know, obviously whatever that means in Italian, but he's highlighted the word muscle right there, which in English translates to growing the sports, muscle, and motorcycle classes. But instead, what it says on the English version is Ocelot Lynx, Drift Tampa, and Western Cliffhanger growing the sports and motorcycle classes. So once again, I'm really not too sure what Rockstar's logic here was. That seems like an awfully big mistake for them to make, like to completely put a car in a wrong class. So that's why I'm saying that might be a little bit less likely than we all think, because you'd think there would be some, like, someone to double check that, like, wait a minute, are you sure we put that into the right class? It's supposed to be muscle, not sports, right? So I have no clue what their thinking was there, but for the time being, it is going to be a sports vehicle. I'm not sure if this is something they can fix with like a new update. I certainly know it's something that they can't just do via the tunable files. So we'll have to see when a new update comes into the game. Maybe on the August 2nd update, Rockstar will make some changes and improvements to some of the vehicles that were already added with the Cunning Stunts DLC. But for now, the complaint is still going to remain that the Drift Tampa is a sports car. Okay, now before we move on to our final topic of the day, there are two interesting things that I have noticed and that people have pointed out to me about the Drift Tampa. The first of which is it seems with the stock wheels, the burnout rate at which you can spin the tires and create the tire smoke seems to be a little bit shorter. So a lot of people have been telling me it's been sub 30 seconds, which is worse than other vehicles, which would be interesting because the Drift Tampa should be all about drifting, and that seems like it would be one of the characteristics that it would, you know, be good at. So I'm not sure. Test that out for yourself. It might have just been my experience, but I also noticed that as well. And also, last but not least, on the Raga Rum livery, it actually has a unique feature that goes underneath the car. And it looks like this. It says "Swallow My Pride." I think Raga Rum is obviously a liquor like sponsorship for the Drift Tampa, so I'm sure that's what they're talking about right there. But I thought that was pretty cool. Some of you guys might not have noticed that. And when you're doing flips and stuff in races, it's kind of cool to see that underneath the Drift Tampa. All right, moving on to our final topic of today's video. What I want to touch on is now the release schedule of the remaining 3 cars. So Rockstar surprised all of us. They surprised me by releasing 3 vehicles yesterday. So we obviously know we got the Drift Tampa, we got the Lynx, and we got the Cliffhanger motorcycle. So that's half of the unreleased cars that have yet to be added via the Cunning Stunts DLC. Now, my original prediction was that this update was going to go in a 2-2-2 style over the 3 weeks. But now it's looking more likely that since we got 3 cars this week, Rockstar are then going to release the remaining 3 cars next week, and then on August 2nd, they're going to add the Stunt Race Creator via a new update. That is my best guess and what now likely makes sense. So if that is to be the case and we would get the remaining 3 cars, that would mean we would get the MTL Dune, which is the rally truck. We would also get the Sprunk Buffalo, which is the returning stock car from single player, and we would get the Vapid Contender SUV truck. So again, I think that's the most likely scenario. Some people are saying that Rockstar is going to release 2 next week and then 1 during the August 2nd DLC, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If they're going to do 3 in this week, why would they not do the remaining 3 in the next week? Although it is Rockstar, they can simply do whatever they want. Maybe they add the rally truck, the MTL Dune, and the Contender next week and save the Sprunk Buffalo for the August 2nd update. You know, there's a lot of different scenarios here, but to give you guys my final take and my final opinion on what I think is going to happen, since we got 3 vehicles this week it's safe to assume that we're likely going to be getting 3 next week as well. So start prepping your wallets for the Contender, the Sprunk Buffalo, as well as the Rally Truck that's going to be releasing into the game, as well as likely some more discounts on Grand Theft Auto Online garages and maybe some more things into the game, and probably another colored Jock Cranley suit. So that's probably what's going to be happening next week if I had to take a guess in Grand Theft Auto Online, all leading up to the final release of the Stunt Race Creator on August 2nd. So anyways, that's all the information that I have for you guys in this video today. I apologize for the craziness of all the topics. I didn't want to make separate videos for everything I was discussing in this video. That would just seem pointless. So I wanted to just pack it into all this video, and hopefully you weren't able to be confused by all the topics we went over. But if you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.